Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to this morning's pre-service meditation. I am your facilitator today, Eugene Holden, one of the practitioners of distinction here at Centers for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore. And I want to say good morning to Sarah. I've never met you. How are you? So let's go ahead and get comfortable. Take a nice deep breath. Get that out. Inhale through the nose. Hold. Let that out through the mouth. And one more time. Inhale through the nose. Hold. And exhale. And now breathing exclusively through the nose. Bring your awareness to your breath. Making sure to inhale fully and to exhale completely. Keeping the breath slow, soft, smooth, silent, and sacred. Keeping our awareness on the breath keeps us aware of this present moment. Simply because we cannot take a breath for 2 minutes from now, nor can we take a breath for 3 minutes ago. We can only breathe in this moment. And this moment is all there is. And no matter how slowly you are breathing right now, breathe a little slower. Relaxing the body on every exhale. Just let it go. For this is the time that we get to go within, allowing the breath to guide us to the throne room of the heart, the inner sanctum, the Holy of Holies, that place where the infinite intelligence resides, that which they call heaven. And we breathe. In this space, we find our memories, our imagination, our intuition, and it is the gateway to our higher power. And we breathe. This is also the place where we find our creativity, our ideas, our joy. In this place, there is no fear. And we breathe. And so we come to this space today with the intention of just being with that higher being. Just being. No agenda. We are not here to get anything. We are only here this morning to be. Peace. Be still. that which is within us is greater than anything that is outside of us. And we breathe. Peace. Be still. That which is within us, we trust. So we open up a little further, dive a little deeper, allowing ourselves to be ministered to be serviced to by this infinite intelligence that indwells us. Allowing ourselves to be guided and directed by that infinite intelligence that is at the very core of our being. And we breathe. And as we open up even further, we allow ourselves to open up to love, to the love intelligence that breathes the breath, to that love intelligence that causes the sun to shine. We open up to that love intelligence that beats the heart. Recognizing and fully knowing that it is this perfect love that casts out fear. And so we love. And so we love. And we breathe the breath of love. So now we begin to bring our awareness back to the room, becoming aware of the vibration in the room, the sounds in the room, the feeling tone in the room. We become aware of the body temple, feeling our feet placed upon the floor, our seats in the seats, how the body is supported by the chair. And as we take this deep breath, we breathe it in from a place of gratitude and love, recognizing that we can always come to this space of power, this place of love, this space of peace, just by setting the intention to do so and allowing the breath to guide us there to the throne room of the heart. So today we set the intention not only to give love, receive love, we set the intention today to be love. So this concludes this morning's pre-service meditation. May this day continue to be what you make it. Peace and abundant blessings.
I don't feel myself today. I can't explain it. No, I can't shake it. Yeah, everyone wants to label me without hearing my voice, without giving me a choice. It's hard to break the glass when you're swinging at the mirror, screaming at your reflection. It's time to change my language and speak kindness to that hurting girl. 'Cause I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm beautiful from the inside, the inside, the inside, from the inside out. Ooh. Da, 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 da. Well, I don't want to live this way, always comparing, insecurities glaring. Yeah, I just want to live my life without silencing my voice, without giving up my choice. It's hard to break the glass when you're swinging at the mirror, screaming at your reflection. It's time to change my language and speak kindness to that weary girl. 'Cause I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm beautiful from the inside, the inside, the inside out. From the inside out. Yes, I am beautiful, even when I don't see it, especially when I don't feel it. Oh, you know I've got to say I am beautiful, even when I can't bring myself to believe it. Gotta say it out loud. Yes, I am beautiful. It's hard to change the world when they're staring at the metrics, measuring your impressions. They don't seem to want to let you in. You gotta speak kindness to that hurting world. I know I am beautiful. I know I'm beautiful. I know that I am beautiful from the inside, the inside, the inside. I can get you out. I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm beautiful from the inside, the inside, the inside, from the inside out, from the inside out.
Yes. God We ready? Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's virtual service. I am Tracy Rhymes, your host. Our speaker is our spiritual director, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. Our musician is Amber Sweeney. Serving as today's practitioner is Mary Ann Marsalek. The pre-service meditation was led by practitioner Eugene D. Holden. Assisting with making this service open, inviting, and accessible to the deaf community are our sign language interpreters, Renuka, Purimetla, and Sarah Steer. On behalf of Reverend Dr. Ray, thank you for your service. Wishing a happy Mother's Day to all standing in this role. Happy Mother's Day. At CSLGB, every Sunday is an Invite a Friend or Family Member Sunday. Make sure you spread the love and invite someone to service. We would love to have them hang out with us. Mary Ann Marsalek, a licensed practitioner for 7 years, with her installation June 2013, has been studying and practicing science of mind principles for 17 years. She is a wife, mother, and grandmother of 2 wonderful grandsons. Mary Ann received an MFA from Maryland Institute College of Art. She has devoted her life to teaching, promoting, and establishing art, humanities, and wellness courses and programs in continuing education at several colleges for over 30 years. Becoming a licensed practitioner allowed Mary Ann to dive in and find the deeper meaning in life through prayer, art journaling, spiritual practices, and study, and involvement with people in church, work, community, as well as volunteering as CSLGB's board secretary. Some of her core beliefs are: God's presence dwells within each of us, realizing oneness in God and oneness with all of creation. And as Gandhi said, we must be the change we want to see in the world.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Mother's Day. Welcome, and to start the opening prayer, this is what I know. I know today is a glorious day, a day full of love and celebration, and I feel so great to be a part of it. I'm so grateful to be here with everyone, to be celebrating mothers, or anyone who is taken on the nurturing role. It is a wonderful day to celebrate love, to honor our mothers, our aunts, our grandmothers, anyone, single dads who have taken on the mother role, everyone. So it's a grand day. And I'm so glad to be here to celebrate, to be here with like-minded people, to get ready and with an open heart, listen to the sermon. I feel so grateful to have Reverend Ray with us to give us the talk. I am so grateful for everyone who has participated in this service to make it possible. The interpreters, Tracy Rhymes, our facilitator host, our technicians, everyone. I am so grateful for them. And right here and now, we open our hearts to listen to the message, to listen to the music. I'm so grateful for our wonderful musician who inspires us. So with open hearts, we are open to be inspired, to receive the guidance, to hear the message. So I know today we hear everything we need to hear, and we are ready to participate with open hearts and open minds. Again, I'm so grateful for everyone who has made this service possible. And today I know that we are all going out to celebrate our mothers, to celebrate ourselves, and to make it a world that works for everyone, full of love and joy and peace. So I release this prayer knowing it is done, and so it is.
The Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore's community, honors the world's religions. One tree, many branches. One mountain, many paths. One world, many religions and spiritual traditions. With the lighting of these candles on the first Sunday of each month, we not only honor each person on their select path, but we also bless them and recognize the light, the love, and the life-affirming nature of spirit as it shows itself in each path, in each practice, and in each person.
Okay. Excuse me. All right. Time for announcements. On the first and third Monday nights, the Sacred Contracts Book Club, hosted by Nancy Rosenberg. The Wednesday night Science of Mind study group, facilitated by Reverend Dr. Ray. And the Thursday night study group, facilitated by practitioner Sue Monahan. Sign up for the CSLGB newsletter, the CSLGB Facebook and Instagram pages. Visit cslgreaterbaltimore.org and get more news and information, including what Reverend Dr. Ray is teaching in the larger CSL community. Blessing bags were distributed February 6th during the Baltimore ceasefire. We are still accepting monetary donations to offset the cost and to save for future distribution. To give, visit the website and note that your donation is for blessing bags. If you have fundraising ideas and want to share or be on the fundraising committee, email Renuka Purimetla. Wanted volunteers to attend Karma Fest. This is a great opportunity to get the word out in the larger spiritual community. This will be happening Friday, June 24th through Sunday, June 26th. For more information, times, specific needs, and to sign up to volunteer, send an email to our fundraising committee chair, renuka.purimetla@gmail.com. The CSLGB Building Committee is seeking seeking assistance in a variety of ways to locate the right next home for CSLGB. For more information on how you can assist, email the committee chair, Dana Molden, at dana.molden@gmail.com. At CSLGB, every Sunday is a great day to choose this as your spiritual community, your spiritual family. The first step is to take the discovery class, which is offered online and can be taken at any time. Visit the website to learn more and enroll in the discovery class. To receive a daily text and voicemail from Reverend Dr. Ray, type JOIN to 833-663-9021 to begin receiving your daily inspiration. You will be glad you did. Prayer works. Of course, that didn't sound as beautiful as Amber. However, you got the message. Prayer works. Yes. We, as a community, continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Prayer requests can be sent at any time via email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org. Boom. Amber Sweeney is a songwriter, performer, and recording artist. Her original songs have been featured in 2 of CW's television series, One Tree Hill and Life Unexpected, as well as in Queen Sugar and Stephen King's film adaptation of Riding the Bullet. While she was performing with other artists, Sweeney has released 2 EPs, 2 full-length and multiple singles, one of which topped the UK soul charts at number 1. Amber has served as governor for the Pacific Northwest chapter for the last 6 years and co-chaired the chapter's education committee. Dedicated to serving her community and sharing her expertise, she has organized, moderated, and participated in many education and professional development programs for both established and emerging artists. She is also a youth mentor at Rock Solid Teen Community Center. Visit her website, theambersweeney.com. I give you Amber Sweeney.
There's chaos brewing in me. I've been feeling lonely. I think that I should stay in tonight. This phone, it won't stop ringing. My friends are all worried, but I just need a little time to myself to feel all of the sadness, so I don't give in to madness and do something I'll regret. It has to be okay to create a little space to deal with all I'm feeling, 'cause happy ain't the fix I think it is. running from the memories that haunt me. That doesn't mean I'm giving up the fight. I love the life I'm living, even when I'm losing. But I still need a little time to myself to understand the sadness and stop making light of tragic moments I wanna forget. It has to be okay to create a little space to deal with all I'm feeling, 'cause happy ain't the fix I think it is. Oh, happy ain't the fix I think it is. Oh, 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 oh. Doesn't mean I want out. I'm asking to be trusted while I'm figuring out how deep these waters go. If I can take control of a world that's burning down around me, and friends that carry on without me, maybe I'll get my happy ending, but not if I can't slow down. It has to be okay to create a little space to deal with all I'm feeling, 'cause happy ain't the fix I think it is. Oh, happy ain't the fix I think it is. Oh, happy ain't the fix I think it is.
Thank you, Amber. That was beautiful. Marianne will now lead us in a spiritual practice.
For today's spiritual practice, I am reading from the guides for spiritual living, Science of Mind magazine. This month, it's all about emotions, and our talk today is about emotions. And I was really struck by this particular guide called Love or Fear. Many years ago, I studied the Course in Miracles, and this comes from the Course in Miracles. It begins with a quote from A Course in Miracles. You have but two emotions, love and fear. One is changeless, but continually exchanged, being offered by the eternal to the eternal. And it's followed by one by Ernest Holmes from The Science of Mind, page 260. We are no longer afraid, for love casts out fear. A Course in Miracles includes the challenging passage quoted above, that there are only two emotions, love and fear. Looking at that passage more clearly or more closely, we can easily see that love overarches all other emotions and is unconditional. It informs all life, creation, and other emotions. Joy and happiness are definitely based in love. But what about fear? I believe it is a valid assertion as put forward in A Course in Miracles, that anything unlike love is actually based in fear. I notice the times when I feel jealous or envious are actually based in fear. I may be afraid I am not measuring up, that I am not feeling deep self-love. I get angry and frustrated when I feel my husband is not taking care of his body, for instance, as I feel he should. Isn't that actually fear? At the root, I am afraid he will die before me. I'm afraid that he will be left alone. There are many variations on the emotions of love and fear. And I believe, as quoted above, that every emotion, every subcategory of emotion stems from one or the other. When we realize these emotions we deem negative come from fear, we can find our way to understanding and compassion. And we can simply bask in love in all its high vibration variations. It ends with an affirmation. In gratitude, I discern the difference between love and fear, and I consciously and continually choose love. I ask you now to just close your eyes or cast your gaze downward and contemplate these words. It will take a minute or so to do that. When we are confronted by fear, when we are feeling doubt and worry, all based in fear, I have found that there is a passage from the Bible that has been particularly helpful for me, especially in the middle of the night in the darkest part. And it is, "Be still and know that I am God." Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. I am so grateful to know this, and I release this now. Amen, Ashe, and so it is.
Thank you, Marianne. And so it is. Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson is an ordained Centers for Spiritual Living minister, serving the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore community as our spiritual director. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and transfiguration, he has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man and visionary New Thought leader who makes complex metaphysical concepts readily understandable and applicable. His mission is to live, move, and be an active member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, and emancipate people and communities to awaken and empower themselves. ACTIVE is an acronym that stands for authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, empowered. And he continues to live his bliss as a teacher, minister, author, workshop and seminar facilitator, visual artist, ASL interpreter, and ASL performing artist, mentor, father, grandfather, and more. I give you Reverend Dr. Ray.
Hello and greetings. I'll make sure I'm actually on. Appears like there's some internet related issues today for a whole bunch of folks because it looks like it was blurry and there's choppy and stuff. So, but anyhow, what'd you say, Tracy? Yeah, I can't hear you. So today we're talking about, as Marianne said, we're continuing our discussion about this thing called emotions. And today we're specifically diving into that place of fear. And the title today is The Fear Factor, which I don't know about you, but I never really liked that television show Fear Factor because it wasn't really about what people were afraid of. It was about shock and what's gross, but it really didn't dive into what people were afraid of to give them the opportunity to transcend their fear. And that's sort of what we're talking about today, because fear is one of the most common human emotions. And instead of allowing fear to paralyze or deter us from accomplishing our intentions, we can focus on the other end of that continuum and move through fears with faith. We're going to talk about that idea in a second because we can stretch, grow, and expand given the proper tools and support. But first, we have to identify and acknowledge and face our fears. Now, Napoleon Hill, whom you may know from Think and Grow Rich and several other things, but he says, fear is faith in reverse gear. Now, I'm going to just place that there. Keep it in the parking lot for a moment. Fear is faith in reverse gear. You got it? Because like I said, we're going to mess with this concept for hold on to it. Breathe. Ernest Holmes says, fear is the antithesis of faith. Like faith, fear may be conscious or subjective. And if it is to be eliminated, it must be removed, both consciously and subjectively. Okay, take that in because I'm getting ready to do a remix real quick. Are you ready? Remix. Fear is the antithesis of faith. Like faith, fear may be conscious or subjective, and it is to be addressed. In other words, healed. And sometimes that means it is lessened or removed, and sometimes it is not. And finding the healthy balance where it does not control you is the desired experience. Breathe that in. Because oftentimes we talk about fear as if it's the enemy, as if fear is to be completely eradicated, and it is not. If you are in a building and the building is on fire, then fear gives your body the adrenaline and whatever you need to do to get out. Fear serves a purpose, or it would not be in the grand expansiveness of God.
understanding that purpose and stewarding it effectively is what we are invited to do, not eliminate it. Just like the ego, it is not our job to completely eradicate or kill the ego. It is to understand what purpose does it serve and to make it serve us accordingly. Breathe. So just like there's this idea of a continuum of emotions, how you may feel on one given day, on any given day. You could feel anywhere from excellent all the way to very, 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 very bad, and anything in between. Spectrum, just like there is a spectrum of light waves. One end of the spectrum, the long wavelengths, infrared. The human eye cannot perceive them, but they are there. At the far other end, ultraviolet, short wavelengths, cosmic rays, also outside of the range of human vision. And then there's the spectrum somewhere in there where there is visible light, but nonetheless, all of that is a spectrum of light. You got that? Okay. Then same thing with sound. There is a spectrum all the way over there, 200 megahertz, all the way over there, 20 hertz. And once again, that little blue range in there is the human range, what the human ear can pick up. But all of that spectrum is the spectrum of sound, all of it. Spectrum. You still with me, right? Because there is also a spectrum called faith. And at one end, faith that is life affirming, and at the other end, faith that is life rejecting, fear. The further that end, now the further over there you go, the more you are getting into fear that controls you, that paralyzes you, that is dominating you. But the closer you still feel fear, but the closer you move it to the more life affirming, you understand what this fear is. So there's the fear of, or the anxiety related to, I have to deliver this speech and it's in front of an audience of 5,000 and I feel butterflies. Now, do the butterflies paralyze you so you get out there and I don't know, I don't remember what what am I talking, what's my name? You are paralyzed by those butterflies, the fear. Or the butterflies are there, and rather than it being paralyzing, it's actually invigorating. You still feel the exact same thing, but you're like, yes, I'm ready. I feel the energy. My body is vibrating and I'm ready to go. But it's the same thing. So you can have faith in the fears. I have faith in the fact that people will betray me. I have faith in the fact that people will abuse me. I have faith in the fact, right? You follow me? Because faith is a belief in something that may not necessarily be visible or experienced right now, but you trust that it will happen nonetheless. And you move and act accordingly. Follow what I'm saying? So the choice is, do I engage my faith in a life-affirming manner, or do I engage my faith in a life-rejecting manner? Breathe. Yeah, there's going to be another remix on this one too. So Carolyn Miss, some people say Mace, Carolyn Miss says, surrendering your problems in faith to the divine is not crazy. It's cosmic liberation. So set your soul free. Pray like you have nothing to lose except your fear. Pray like you have nothing to lose except your fear. Now, what's the remix? It's not your fear. It's simply the fear. You don't need to lay claim of it and make it yours. What do I feel? I feel afraid. And that feeling can move and it can shift. It doesn't have to be claimed with ownership of it is my fear and I refuse to surrender it. I refuse to release it. It's mine. I earned it. Feel it and then move forward accordingly. Breathe and ask yourself, what makes me feel afraid? What makes me feel afraid? What makes me feel afraid? And it could be any number of things, but what makes me feel afraid? Charles Fillmore, Tracy Hush. Charles Fillmore says, there is no lack of anything. Oh, wait a minute. What did Charles say? There is no lack of anything anywhere in reality. There is only lack. The only lack is the fear of lack in the mind of each person. We do not need to overcome any lack, but we are invited. We must overcome the fear of lack. Breathe. Because once again, it's about understanding what it is that I am feeling and then tracing it backwards to say, so what is the actual thing? Because that's what I'm praying regarding. The feeling is one thing. It's like you have a symptom. I have a fever. I'm experiencing a fever. The fever is a symptom of something. Is it an infection? Is it a virus? Cold, flu? What is it? But the fever is a symptom. You trace it back and find the cause of the fever, and then you address the cause in order to have a different effect. Same thing with this idea of fear. Trace it back, find out what it is you are feeling the fear regarding. Where is it coming from? Some fears are based upon trauma and memory of some when, some then. Some fears are present right now. I smell smoke. It doesn't smell like Tracy burned meatballs. Something else is going on. Let me check. Smoke alarm's going off. Boom, into action. Smoke detector, fire extinguisher, 911. Is it present now? Am I projecting? So wait a minute. I'm supposed to be speaking at this event in July. Ooh, what if they don't like me? Ooh, that's project. Where is the fear coming from? Because when I can identify where it's coming from, then I can truly address it at its core. It need not control me. Ernest Holmes says, from time immemorial, it has been almost instinctive for humans, when confronted with fear, to turn to what they have considered a power greater than themselves. So it doesn't matter. Look at anyone from various traditions, spiritual paths. There's always some idea of praying to something, doing some idea of praying to Ra, the god of the sun, praying to Odin, praying to Father Sky, Mother Earth, praying to someone, something. Anchor into this idea that whatever you're calling it, the idea is, I understand, as Ernest Holmes also said, there is a power that is infinite goodness, greater than I am, greater than you are, and we can use it. We are, in fact, using it right now, and always are, always have been, and always will be, because it is the divine. So when fear shows up, recognize that there is the truth of your being that is stronger than, more powerful than, more truer than whatever that fear is. Anchor into that, because we need not let the fear control or dictate us. We need not be enslaved to the fear. We need not be bound to the fear. So what are you called to do with it? How do you engage it in an effective manner so that you are demonstrating your lordship, your stewardship of your own life? Fear shows up. You need not eliminate it. You need not eradicate it. But what you are invited to do is engage the consciously engage the creative principle that then brings greater life affirming freedom. Consciously engaging the creative principle, because that is what brings us greater life affirming freedom. In our we believe statements, statement number 5, we believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. Fear shows up, and it's binding me. If I am to believe the ultimate goal of life, complete emancipation, then I cannot be bound by, enslaved to whatever this fear is. What or how do I engage the creative principle so that I am emancipated, liberated, and set free? There's a quote that I'm going to test some of y'all. Someone said, fear leads to the dark side. Who said that? Type it in the chat. Who said fear leads to the dark side? Because fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Who said that? Because there's this idea that if I am controlled by my fear, then it results in anger, which also controls me. And the anger which controls me turns to hate, which controls me. And the hate that controls me causes me to suffer, and that suffering controls me. So, but what happens if we do not let the fear control us? We feel it. I feel the fear. I feel the anger. I don't feel hate. There's no need to feel hate, but I feel whatever that feeling may be. I feel pain. And I consciously engage the creative principle so that my life moves forward in a life affirming, free manner. And for those who do not know, it was Yoda who said that. And the funny thing is, in the Star Wars canon, we have the Jedi, and we have the Sith. And the Sith, when Yoda was giving that quote to Luke, the Sith, because that's what turns a person into the Sith. Fear, which leads to hate. Fear, which leads to anger. Anger, which leads to hate. Hate, which leads to suffering. Boom, you are now Darth Vader. But in between, there is this, it's called the gray Jedi, where they balance the dark and the light as one collective power, because they recognize you don't separate the force. There is only the force. And how you embody it and how you engage it effectively in a life-affirming manner is your path. It's your invitation. So here we are, fear. I'm afraid. I'm like, what's his name? Sitting in front of a vampire. I'm like, ooh, it's a vampire. It's a vampire. I'm scared. It's a vampire. Interview it. Sit down with your fear and question it. Who are you? Why are you here? What might you be offering me to learn about myself? Anthropomorphize the fear. There's this fear of flying. Let's say I have a fear of flying, which I don't, but let's, for the sake of the conversation. Now, give that fear a name. I'm going to name it Tracy. Tracy scares me because why? When I'm flying, I'm afraid of turbulence because Tracy has turbulence. Okay. But what is it about that? Okay, when I'm flying, it's lack of trust. No, keep going. I'm afraid the plane's going to crash. Okay. But you're not, because what if you were like Superman and the plane crashed and you were fine? Okay. Well, I'm afraid of dying. I'm afraid of the pain that may, see, interview it, talk to it, reach into it and identify what it is, because that's when you can treat. It's a vague concept until you really get to the nuts and bolts of it. What am I really afraid of? I'm afraid of failure. No, you're not. That's surface. What is it about that you're afraid of? We all fail. 2 + 2 = 9 is failing. The world didn't end. But there's something else. I'm afraid that when I fail at this, when I don't pass this, when I don't get that license, I'm afraid that will mean I'm not worthy. I don't get love. There's something else in there. Sit down with it, question it, and when you know what it is and you know the name of it, then you address it in the same way that the priest in the metaphysical story of The Exorcist, once you know the name of the thing and you know its nature, you can cast it out. You are now in control of it. Identify your fears, face them, converse with them, with the nature of it. Identify the name of it, and then address it compassionately, and then heal. Physician, heal thyself. Meta-physician, heal thyself. Breathe. Galen Guenrich says, when I care to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I am afraid. When I connect to the truth of my being and the power of my being, that fear, my connection to it, its connection to me, lessens and lessens and lessens. So when I am anchored and grounded in the truth, and I know that I am an excellent speaker, I know that I am excellent at giving keynote addresses, then the fear of speaking in front of an audience in July of 5,000 people, the fear of that, the fear of failing, the fear of forgetting, the fear of whatever that is, it's less important. Because I'm anchored and grounded in the truth of my being. I know who and what I am. I trust in my skills. I trust in my spirit. I trust in that which is living, moving, breathing itself as me. And therefore that fear, the importance of it, becomes less and less significant. It may not completely go away. The butterflies may still be there. But because I am aligned and anchored and grounded in the truth of my being, that fear matters less. And in that moment, I am anchored and grounded in this idea of I have an option. I have a choice. I am at choice point. I can choose to be scared or I can choose to be sacred. And there's a tiny, tiny little shift that happened between these two. Am I willing to consciously make the shift? Am I willing to flip the script? To recognize that within being scared, the sacred is right there. Sacred exists within the scared. But it's what I do with those letters. How I change the letters that recognizes I can choose to be scared or I can choose to acknowledge and recognize the sacred in this moment and align my power to it, through it, and as it right now. Breathe. Now, today's message is very, very, very personal to me because for years, fear was my constant companion. If I had an invisible friend growing up, yeah, their name was Fear, Terror. Yeah, it was like the Three Musketeers. Fear, terror, and oh my God, I'm scared. They were always with me. One for all and all for one. And they were so much a part of me that I couldn't imagine or envision what it would be like to not have them as the constant reminder to be in fear. Fear of something. I'm afraid of the next time my parents are drunk. I'm afraid of the next time my parents will fight. I'm afraid of when one of my brothers will be. I'm afraid of the next time someone kills someone and goes to jail. I'm afraid of the next time I'm hit. I'm afraid of the next time that I'm beat. I'm afraid of the next time that I get hit by a car. I'm afraid of life. And that was my truth for years. For years. And I mean a very, very long time, to such a degree that growing up, I was afraid because my father was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. So I was afraid that he was going to die, which of course, eventually, of course it happened, because it happens to all of us. But I was afraid, I was terrified, not only of him suffering and him dying, but what if I get Lou Gehrig's disease because I'm his son? And so I was afraid. And so I tiptoed through life, always wondering, not if, but when. Not if, but when. When will he die? When will I die? When will be the next thing? And then it happened. And Tracy can tell you, 4 years after my father died, every birthday, every anniversary, grief overcame me with such ferocity that I shut down. And within that grief, there was great fear. And when one fear shows up, it's like the story of the multi-headed Hydra in Greek mythology. You cut off one head and 2 new heads grow. You cut off another 2 and 4 now sprout. Because I wasn't attacking, I wasn't defeating, I wasn't addressing, I wasn't healing the core of the creature. Now let's go here, because when Tracy and I decide to move, here it is, October 19th. And I get a text message from a cousin who says, "Hey, Monty, was that your mom that's missing? Because the picture that they showed on the news looked like her." Wait a minute, what? So in October 19th, 2019, my mother ended up missing. And there was a silver alert, and I had no idea. Tracy and Renuka and I, we're moving furniture and stuff. We're driving back and forth and moving stuff. And my mother was missing. And when I find out about it, there's this moment of, "Ooh, I'm afraid. I'm afraid. Where is she? I'm afraid." And then something clicked. I don't know what it was exactly, but something clicked. And I said, wait a minute. God is all there is. And if God is all there is, then there is not a part where God is not. Therefore, God knows where all of it is. So wherever my mother is, God is right there with her, as her, around her. And if that is the fact, then what I am speaking now is the recognition that wherever she is fine. That wherever she is safe. That wherever she is, the power and presence of the divine is right there too. And I surrendered it into the law and let it be what it was. And then the next day, I got word that she was found safe later on the 19th, and they reported it on the 20th. But I noticed I wasn't afraid. Now, fast forward, because not long after that, this was October 2019. It was June 2020 when my mother died. And the manner in which the death landed with me was completely different than any other time. Any other time in the 5,000 or so funerals and wakes I have been to in my life, I didn't feel afraid. not in the same way. I felt grief, sadness. I felt, but I was in control. I was able to feel whatever this was, whatever you want to call it, and joy. Whatever this is, whatever you want to call it, and gratitude. Whatever this is and whatever you want to call it, and the truth of my being, the truth of her being, the truth of beingness itself. And from that point forward, I recognized what really shifted was the manner in which I take care of myself. Every waking moment, I do my best to remain grounded, anchored, aligned, breathing, recognizing the truth of my being. Because that's what gives me the opportunity, that's what gives me the ability to fear less. Breathe. Reverend Dr. Ray says, fear is not the enemy. All fears have a reason for being present. Once we come to know the nature of the fears, we are better able to identify what we are called to do, to heal them, and to live on our terms, no longer dictated or determined by what was feared. Unlike Job from the Bible, who said, "What I feared has come upon me. What I dreaded has happened to me." Rather than that, we declare what was spoken in Isaiah 43:19. Behold, I am about to do something new. Even now it is coming. Do you not see it? Indeed, I will make a way in the wilderness and streams in the desert. For I recognize and understand that I am the infinite power and presence called by many names, incarnating itself as me. And so where there is a desert, I create streams. An oasis, I bring life. I have the power of life and death in my tongue. I speak curses or blessings. We have a choice to be scared or be sacred. Breathe. This week's opportunity to engage and practice, explore, ask yourself, what am I afraid of? And then once you have this list of things you feel afraid of, how many of them are you really ready to identify and address in order to heal? Because some fears, Tracy doesn't like bugs. And I can guarantee you, if I said, Tracy, let's address your fear of bugs today, and I put a big tarantula in my hand. Tracy's probably cringing right now as I put it closer to the camera because she's imagining a big black tarantula crawling in her hand. Is Tracy ready to identify and address that by letting the tarantula sit in her hand? No. I know she's, no. She said no, which is fine. But what that means is it's a fear she's willing to keep. It's a fear she's willing to maintain, which is her choice. No judgment, no shade. She said, yep. But the invitation is there are some fears we are invited to explore and identify. Am I ready and willing to surrender it and to heal it? Then have a conversation with 4 people about some of the things that you once feared that you no longer do. What shifted? Were you afraid of the dark at one time and now you're not? Whatever that was. Were you afraid of dogs at one time, but now you're not? And then with your 4 folks that you're conversing with, your 4 friends or family members or community members, whoever they may be, share what you still feel. Share what you still feel fear regarding. Those are old things you feared. What are some present things you feel fear about now? Share. What do you think? Why do you think you feel what you feel? What is it about it? What is it about dogs, spiders, bugs? What is it about them? thunderstorms? What is it about them that you fear? And then what are you actively doing to address, to transcend, and to heal them? What could help you make the shift from scared to sacred? Breathe. And as always, if you want copies of the slides, feel free to email Tracy or I, and we will make sure you get them. This week's affirmation declaration, I will say it first. Then if you feel so inspired, say it with me on the second go round. And you may notice I changed this earlier today. So it's not even what was shared in the newsletter. I tweaked it a little bit to make it more in alignment with what we're talking about today. I feel into my fears with courage, compassion, and life-affirming faith. Together, if you feel ready to declare this, I feel into my fears with courage, compassion, and life-affirming faith. Breathe. Breathe and feel the energy of that life-affirming faith rising within you as we prepare our hearts and our ears and our bodies and our beingness for an individual who is a demonstration of what it means to be life-affirming faith in the flesh, recognizing that every note that Amber sings and every note that she plays on keyboard or guitar, all of it is the divine demonstration of what it means to be faith, life-affirming faith, living itself, breathing itself, and performing itself in love and in grace. Blessings and gratitude, Amber. Thank you.
Broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out and move mountains. We gon' walk it out. Move mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. Yes, I'll rise. Again for you, for you, for you, for you. The silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet and move mountains. Yeah, bring it to its feet and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. Yes, I'll rise that we have each other, and for that we have each other. We'll rise, we will rise, we will rise, we will rise. Yes, I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up, high like the waves. We'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. And I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again.
Thank you so very much, Amber. And that's one of my favorite songs. Thank you. Thank you. That's an excellent reminder because, you know, oftentimes we're like, oh, I got knocked down once, twice. I'm out. I'm going. I done had enough. And yet here's the invitation, like, rise up. Okay. You got turned down. You went on an audition and you got turned down 10 times, Reverend Ray. Go on audition number 11 and you might get cast as Doctor Strange. You never know. Right? That's what I'm saying.
That's
like,
true.
you
You
never know. So rise up 1,000 times, rise up 10,000 times, rise up, not simply because whatever that is that says, well, we have to work and we have to, but rise up for you. Rise up because it is your divine power and presence. It is the very livingness of life that says, I must. The rose, why does it bloom? No matter what the condition, it blooms. Why does the tree, like what? Because that's what life does. It rises up again and again and again because it is ever evolving consciousness. Yes, thank you, Amber. I should have just let you go ahead and do the message today.
Whatever. Whatever, man.
Much love. Thank you. Thank you. She said, whatever. Love me some Amber. So, breathe. Gratitude. Today was a great service, great day. So, blessings, like Tracy said, blessings and thank you. Marianne said too, blessings and thank you to our interpreters today, Sarah and Renuka. Thank you both. Blessings, gratitude. Thank you, Amber. Yes. Blessings and gratitude to host. Yeah, Tracy. Blessings and gratitude to two practitioners serving today. Eugene, who did the pre-service meditation, and Marianne. Thank you. Blessings and gratitude to everyone. Thank you, everybody who's present, who's putting stuff in the chat. Thank you for all the stuff about volunteers. Thank you to Alma, because Alma's there. Alma's in the house. Whoop, whoop. If y'all aren't friends with Alma on Facebook, you need to go there because she shared something the other day about testifying. And yeah, tune in. Anyhow, I digress because I can hear Tracy now. Rev, breathe. Ranika's hands are about to fall off. Breathe. In this part of service, we recognize and anchor the practice of the law of circulation. We are afforded the opportunity to tithe into, one, where you are spiritually fed, and, as Tracy always says, to the business aspect of what it takes to run a center, the nuts and bolts of keeping the lights on, paying for the mortgage, et cetera, and all of the stuff that we do. Now, if you are new to this community, you may not know that the practitioners of distinction, on top of their regular monthly tithes have also pledged $50,000 by the end of the year. And as of the 22nd of April, that number is $10,000, 675. What? Say that again? Yes, 10,675, moving towards 50,000. The community's matching pledge of 50,000, which is on top of their regular monthly tithes, as of the end of March was $1,425. Also, if you're new to the community and you don't know, there are 4 ways that you can tithe or give: PayPal, Givelify, text messaging, and the postal mail service. If you ever have questions about how do I get the app for Givelify or any of that, feel free to reach out to Sue Monahan, our amazing treasurer. Feel free to reach out to any of the board of trustees if you ever have questions about how we are stewarding this money to demonstrate and manifest the right and perfect new building facility that we are right now crafting, creating, visioning, and searching for. If you ever want to know, well, what if I want to divide a certain portion of my tithe, 50% to education, 25% to emergency care, 25% to the new building fund, for example. Also, feel free to reach out to our treasurer and she will explain more about all of that so you can do so. Feel free to also visit cslgreaterbaltimore.com/give for more information. Here at CSL Greater Baltimore, when we declare financial wealth and abundance, recognizing that it's all God, we are also declaring wealth and abundance, prosperity and opulence in our health and well-being, in our joy and love and emotional selves, in our intellectual selves, in our relationships, in all areas of our lives. We are declaring wealth, abundance, prosperity, and opulence in more and more and more life-affirming manners. So if this is in alignment with for you, if that, you're like, yeah, I like that. I want some of that. Then let us declare together. I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. Breathe. Thank you, everybody, everything you brought today. Thank you. You are awesome, amazing, gorgeous, beautiful, powerful, and present, and all that God is, you are. Thank you for bringing all of that to this sacred now moment. Now, service is about to come to an end, but recognize you can go to the Zoom room and fellowship and chit chat and love up on each other and all that stuff. But you can also request prayer. You don't have to need prayer or ask for prayer when things are not so good. When things are not so good. You can also say, things are pretty darn good right now, and I want things to be even more gooder. I want things to be even better. I feel happy at a 9. I want to feel happy at a 19. Then ask for prayer. Anchor and ground and know that that is not only possible, but that it is the truth of your being. And recognizing the truth of our being, we understand that this thing called Sunday service is coming to a close, but the manner in which God continually acts upon itself, the manner in which God continually serves itself, continues forever. You see, when Amber leaves serving this community today, particularly today, Amber continues to serve friends, family, community in so many places and so many ways. When Tracy is done serving as host today, Tracy will continue to serve in so many ways. I was thinking about that spider. In so many ways. Like it works that way for each and every one of us. When this thing called Sunday service, for Sarah and Renuka, for Amber and Tracy, for Marianne and Eugene, for myself, for everyone viewing, watching now, or whenever the next new now moment is, how we as God continue to serve, love, communicate, vibrate, align, sing, dance, laugh, love, and rise up again and again and again and again. That is infinite, eternal, and ever expanding consciousness in demonstration. That is what this is. That is who we are. That is what this prayer is. The law says yes, and I know because it says yes, it is done accordingly. And knowing that it's done, I let it be by saying, and so it is. Namaste, blessings, greetings. See you over in Zoom.